It was a cloudy gray day today in San Antonio, maybe reflecting the mood of the Spurs after the loss in Game 4. But they're ready for Game 5 in the starting lineups. Stephon Marbury, Anthony Hardaway at the guards, Amari Stoudemire, Scott Williams, and Shawn Marion up front for head coach Frank Johnson. And for the San Antonio Spurs, Tony Parker and Stephen Jackson at the guards, with Bruce Bowen, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan at the forwards. For the NBA Coach of the Year, Greg Popovich. Announced yesterday by the league, Popovich the first Spur coach ever to win Coach of the Year. Our officials tonight, Bennett Salvatore, Teddy Bernhardt, and Sean Corbin. Salvatore, the crew chief in his 20th year in the NBA. And that's the crew chief of the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan, who has played a smart series despite the fact that it's obvious they're doing everything to take the ball out of his hands.
Well, I thought he's played exceptionally well. I mean, they're double teaming, triple teaming him almost all the time. He's scoring when he has to, or when he has the opportunity to. And when he does it, he's making great passes out to his teammates. It's just up to them to make shots.
You saw the Game 5 and the importance, but the team that loses Game 5 will be the first one to say, you know, 18% of the teams that lose Game 5 can still win the series. Some key matchups, Bruce Bowen on Shawn Marion. Bowen has done a very good job on Marion, whose shooting numbers much below his regular season, and there's a perfect example why. Good contesting of the shot from one of the better defenders in the NBA.
The Suns really need somebody to step up and play well. Obviously, Marbury's done a great job all season long and all series long. The one guy they need is Shawn Marion to come out and have a big game.
Parker sets up Bowen nicely, and Bowen puts it in. Despite Stoudemire coming flying out at him.
Bowen just picking up where he left off from the last game. He hadn't hit a three-point shot all series. Went into Phoenix, hit 5 of 6, and now come out and hit his first one here.
Marbury way off the mark. Second shot won't go, and David Robinson with his second rebound. Parker, what a different Tony Parker we've seen after the first 2 games where he really struggled. He has bounced back in a big way in games 3 and 4. Stephen Jackson. Well, he's already had more field goals in Game 5 than he did in the entire Game 4.
Yeah, I know that makes him feel good. He was really upset at how he played the other day, and I'm sure that was a big confidence booster for him to come out and hit that first shot.
He was averaging 22 a game through the first 3 games, had just 2 points in the last one. And Marion throws it away.
Looks like the Suns are making a real effort trying to get Marion get going here at the beginning. He's touched the ball 3 straight times. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to do anything with it.
Maybe the Spurs or maybe the Suns getting into the place they want to be, down double digits, because that seems to be when they play their best. Stoudemire, look at him handle the ball, but not a wise spin move. But he's doing well when he's going straight forward.
Change of direction got him.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Good hands from Stoudemire, and Stephen Jackson touched it last.
This is actually pretty good for the Spurs. If they can continue to get turnovers and get out and run and get some easy baskets, the Suns aren't able to set up their defense and double team Duncan.
Marbury gets inside. I think Duncan got a piece of it. Parker, you'll just love the resiliency of this kid who had been so badly outplayed by Stephon Marbury, not just in the playoffs, but throughout the regular season. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was reading about it. Nice feed inside, blocked by Stoudemire.
Well, the best thing about Parker is he's 20 years old, and like you said, it didn't faze him. He was upset. He said he was embarrassed. Fear made him play better, but he came out and he's had 2 terrific games. So that just tells you what kind of head that kid has on his shoulders. When you're 20 years old and you're on the stage and the guy's just killing you like Marbury was, he comes back and has 2 straight really good games.
Hardaway right up on Jackson. Just over 2 minutes gone by. Suns still have not scored. Jackson, nice feed to Duncan. Blocked again by Stoudemire. And then a whistle and a foul call. It will go against Scott Williams. That's his first.
Here's what I was talking about earlier about the Suns defense. They never give up. They're always rotating. They got very athletic people who can make a lot of blocks. And Jackson did a good thing there. They know the Suns are going to be aggressive on the pick and rolls, and he just split it and took it right to the basket.
Now, Stoudemire hasn't been a big factor offensively since Game 1, but obviously a big impact defensively to start this one. Duncan and a reach-in foul.
Well, like you said, Stoudemire had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and he was 9 for 13 in the first game. Games 2 through 4, he's only averaging 9.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, shooting 11 for 28 from the field. So that's another guy that they need for him to play well. besides Marbury, those two guys, Marion and Stoudemire, have to do well for the Suns to win.
Marion, the last foul. So 15 fouls on Phoenix. And the ball hit the baseline, so another turnover. A live TNT NBA Spanish language feed now available by SAP. Turnovers, of course, may be the biggest story for San Antonio in Game 4. 25 of them, including 7 in the fourth quarter. It's been a problem all season long for the Spurs. Alley-oop for Marion.
Yeah, and they've been the worst team in the playoffs as far as turnovers. They're averaging 18 turnovers a game. And a lot of those turnovers are coming in the fourth quarter when the Suns make their run and have stole 2 games.
During the regular season, they were one of the poorer teams in terms of protecting the basketball. Good ball movement here. Bowen, that one a 2. And Scott Williams with a rebound. Scott Williams has been a factor in the series. He's a guy who has to play well, playing defense, and he can hit the shot. Double figures last game. Robinson throws it right back at Stoudemire. Good transition defense by the Suns. Duncan able to poke it backwards. So see some good defense early. Both teams have played well defensively in this series. Jackson wide open for 3. Duncan with another rebound.
That's what happens a lot of time when teams trap and rotate. Most of the time they have a little guy underneath the boards, and that's where Tim Duncan took advantage of that and was able to get the offensive rebound and lay it in. Duncan
already with 4 rebounds. Marbury inside, blocked by Duncan. That's his second rejected, knocked out of bounds. And they say last touch by Bowen. Bennett Salvatore, the lead official, but I think it's going to be a deflection. Sean Corbin comes in and talks it over. No, they say it's going to be Phoenix basketball. There's some good teamwork from the refs. Although Bowen doesn't agree. Stoudemire had the 24 points in Game 1. He's had 29 total in the next 3 games. Hardaway, meanwhile, comes up short. And the Suns really struggling from the field. They're 1 of 8. And poor transition defense that time from Phoenix.
Really poor. And the Suns are doing a very good job here at the beginning. I think Marbury's got to be more aggressive taking the ball to the basket. They're taking too many outside jumpers. And because of that, the Spurs are getting off the board and getting some easy fast break points.
Frank Johnson still calm, but he wants to talk it over. Parker aggressive in the last couple of games. Spurs with a 6-point early lead. Antonio Spurs, they lead it 8-2. Their coach rewarded yesterday officially by the NBA. There's Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick presenting the trophy to Greg Popovich before the game. He received a standing ovation and couldn't look more unhappy about being out there.
He's still smarting from Game 4. He's still upset that they lost that game.
A nice gesture giving it to his assistant coaches, who he gave a lot of the credit to. PJ Carlesimo, who you see seated next to Popovich, said the timing couldn't have been worse after the Game 4 loss. Popovich obviously very upset. And so when the assistants tried to congratulate Popovich, he responded with an obscenity. He's just worried about his team advancing to the second round and not the awards, but certainly very deserved. He did a fabulous job this season with the Spurs. San Antonio in a bit of a zone on the inbounds. Shot clock down to 8. Parker deflects it out of bounds. You know, we talk a lot about the Suns defense, what they've done on Duncan. The Spurs defense is still their bread and butter.
It really is. You got the 2 big guys down there who cause a lot of havoc and block a lot of shots, but they're a lot like their Suns. They're very athletic, they're very quick, and they do a good job. They got good defensive principles, and everybody sticks to them.
Shot clock at 3. Stoudemire can't connect. Stoudemire in the series shooting 49%, but again, since Game 1, has not scored much. Hardaway, nice play. But he stepped out of bounds. Still Spurs ball. Suns, though, off to a 1 of 9 start from the field.
I'm a little surprised the Suns haven't come out with a full court pressure, just because when they play good, tough defense and they push up the full court, it makes them play better on the offensive end. They look a little lackadaisical right now.
They've actually had problems shooting the ball in the first half of games. Their shooting numbers have been better in the second half throughout the series. Usually it's the other way around when teams tighten up their defense. As Bowen comes up short. Good boxing out from Stoudemire. But you credit a lot of that, their shooting numbers better in the second half, to their defense.
Yeah, I think so. They've been playing from behind, and their defense is so good, so they continue to wear down the offensive end. The better defense they play, the more fast break layups they get, easier shots.
Duncan and Robinson, their presence down low, causing Marion to perhaps shoot that one a little quickly. 3 block shots already for the Spurs. And a foul. Duncan turned to put it up and got hit on the arm. Duncan will shoot 2. Penny Hardaway called for his first.
I like this move by Duncan, even though he's going to be double teamed. Marbury comes down, even Williams comes down. He's being aggressive and looking for his own shot. He went away from the double team, spun, and took it to the basket and got fouled.
.14 on the shot clock as they'll inbound. Duncan again, a very good passer and a very good shooter.
It's just amazing. I mean, that's the quandary the Suns had. Do you double the guy and let him go for his points, or do you continue to just run people at him and make the other guys beat him? He's so good at finding his teammates and getting other people open, yet he stands out there and can hit a 16-footer.
Again, he's shooting 58% from the field in the series, so despite obviously frustrated by not getting a lot of shot opportunities, as Scott Williams misses, and a loose ball foul is going to go against the Spurs. He's not let it frustrate him to a point where he's forcing the action.
Well, there's not too many guys in this league to put up the numbers he's putting up in this series with the attention he's getting with the double and triple teams. It just tells you how good of a guy and how good of a player he is. He's very unselfish. He doesn't care if he scores points. He does the right thing and the smart play and gets it to his teammates when he's covered.
Marion for 3. John Marion knocks it down, and that's a big plus certainly for the Phoenix Suns, as Marion in the series only 25% from long range.
And that was all created by Marbury's penetration through the middle. Defense had to suck in. He saw a wide open Marion who hit 3-pointers.
Stoudemire picks up that foul. He fouled out in the last game in just 23 minutes as Manu Ginobili comes in. Bowen will take a seat.
Well, that's where he struggles. As a young player, he makes too many stupid fouls. Fouls that really don't matter. A lot of the fouls that are on the perimeter are little touch fouls. So that's when he gets in the biggest trouble. He's got to realize to save his fouls when they're underneath the basket.
Frank Johnson told us earlier today as Duncan turns it over. He had 6 turnovers last game. And Stoudemire's been a little frustrated by the calls as Marion, nice feed inside to Stoudemire, gathers himself but can't finish. However, draws the foul. Steven Jackson will pick up his first, and the Rookie of the Year will go to the line for 2.
Well, what I think happens, that first game, he had such a fantastic game. He had 24 points and 9 rebounds. That was his first look at a playoff series. He probably thought that this was going to be really easy. And then, he woke up and realized the playoffs are tough business, especially when you're not getting calls and you're getting banged in there. And it's such a grind down there after the second, third, or fourth games. Things are going to continue to get tougher.
From the free throw line, during the regular season, he was at 66%, so it's one area that he's got to get better at, but his work ethic is so good. This keeps getting better and better as the Suns within 3. Jackson. Ginobili, nice little head fake, and knocks it down. We had Marion flying past him.
Good job by Ginobili. He got Marion up in the air, took a little dribble, and hit the shot. But you saw the Suns players, even Scott Williams came out and tried to cover that second shot. So there's a never-ending flow of defensive guys who try to get out there and stop shots, and that's why they've done a good job defending the three-pointer all year long.
Jackson draws the foul and one. Steven Jackson with a chance for a 3-point play. He got shot, a little hit in the nose, but credit David Robinson with the quick outlet pass down the other end.
Good job by the Spurs of trying to get out and getting on a fast break, and he goes in there and gets fouled and gets a nice shot off the glass.
You talk about impact players in terms of more than just numbers. David Robinson, just his presence on the defensive boards. Now he has 5 rebounds. What a difference that makes when he's on the floor for them.
Well, that size is great because when Duncan gets double teamed, you have a 7'2" guy cutting down the lane. It's hard to pick him up with the smaller guards who are up on the top of the key. So his size is a big presence in there.
8-point San Antonio lead as the Phoenix Suns look to find a shooting touch. Just 2 of 13 from the field. Marion, nice setup to Vasco, blocked by Duncan. Marion on the follow. Good second effort from Sean Marion.
Marion's got a great nose for the ball. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Picks up a lot of his points on second shots.
His rebounding number is excellent, over 11 a game in the series, despite the shooting problems. There's the quick double team on Duncan. Malik Rose can't finish. Gets another chance, however. Knocked away again. Good hands from Amar'e Stoudemire. What you're seeing from Duncan is very quick decisions when he gets the ball. There's no hesitation whether he's going to shoot or pass the ball.
No, and he knows exactly where his teammates are most of the time. Right there, he hardly even had to look at Malik Rose. He knew he was going to cut and find him underneath the basket. Exactly what he did. He just turned over his right shoulder and dropped the ball off to him.
And once he gets it deep in the paint, it's hard to stop. Stoudemire didn't like the call, but that's 2 fouls on Amari Stoudemire, and he's going to have to come out of the game. With 3:44 remaining in the first, he has a word with Bennett Salvatore. Rookie doing it the right way, having a little discussion. That's good rapport with the officials. Salvatore explains himself, because at times he's gotten a little over emotional about the foul problems.
Well, it can get frustrating by having to guard Duncan every day.
I would agree. NBA.com has compiled 10 of the best shots in NBA playoff history. Log on to see the candidates and vote for the best shot only on NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com. Duncan hearing chants of MVP. Knocks down both free throws. And the Spurs back up by 8.
I tend to agree with him. I think he is the MVP. They won 60 games. And we've seen what he's done in this series, being double teamed, and he just does all the right things for his team. And that's what an MVP is, to make everybody in your team better.
You know, not that I think that this might sound like a cop-out answer, but I think if you voted for Garnett, Duncan, or McGrady, you can't argue really against any of them.
No, you really can't, especially Garnett. What he's done has been absolutely amazing also. And it'd be nice, you know, if you could go in there and Minnesota could win that series, because they've played so well and he's had such a great series and a great season. And Minnesota hasn't gotten out of the first round so long, and they've come so close to winning those games and just let them slip away.
Duncan, meanwhile, picks up personal his first. Sean Marion knocks down the first. He's 3 of 6 from the field. The rest of the team 0 for 10.
This is one thing Marion really has to improve on. Not his free throw shooting, but getting to the line more. For his athletic ability and the way he could slash the basket, he doesn't go enough to the free throw line.
Well, this season he shot 39% from three-point range. And sometimes guys fall in love with the three-point line. You settle for it at times.
I was one of those guys.
No, I wasn't insinuating anything.
Yes,
there.
you were.
Good defense from Jake Bosco to force the turnover.
I fell in love and married him. Couldn't get me inside that thing my last 2 or 3 years.
Crowd wanted to travel. Spurs with 5 turnovers here in the first quarter, though they still lead by 6. Marbury, good aggressive move, but the presence of Duncan once again. Jackson has all the time. Can't finish. Malik Rose comes flying in. And Duncan able to put it in. Offensive rebounds key for San Antonio.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing the Suns on the offensive boards. They just can't allow second or third shots. They come down and shoot a 3. The Suns need to get the rebound and get out on the break.
And you see the total rebounding numbers dominant for the Spurs thus far. Bosco. Jake Bosco. Amazing what one shot can do for your confidence, although he always plays aggressive. He is never backing down from Jake Bosco.
I like the move that Coach Johnson done. He brought in Outlaw and Bosco. 2 guys he brings off the bench are going to bring nothing but energy, enthusiasm, and heart. So I think Johnson knows that his team hasn't rung it yet tonight. And those 2 guys are going to come out, play extremely hard, and try to get the crowd out of it and win the game.
Home court hasn't meant anything. Neither is the seating. Meanwhile, Stephon Marbury off to a slow start, and you wonder about the injury that he suffered in Game 4. He's had a shoulder problem, but you watch here, got that what you call the stinger that really affected him down the stretch.
Yeah, I talked to the trainer, and he said, you know, Stephon has had that happen a few times, and it feels fine today. He shouldn't have had any problems with it unless he gets it hit. But the story has been the 2 stars. Tim Duncan's already have. He's come out, he has 8 points, 3 block shots, and 5 rebounds. Marbury's 0 for 5 with only 1 assist. So the 2 stars, 1 star stepped up, the other one hasn't.
Jackson, meanwhile, draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. The foul goes against Outlaw. Let's go to Reggie Theus.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Dan, you were talking about Marbury's injury, and I spoke to the trainer, Aaron Nelson, earlier also, and he said that Marbury has an extra bone under his clavicle, which adds extra pressure to his nerves. In his right arm that shoots down his arm. Now what happens is, because of the extra bone, he's more susceptible to an injury of a pinched nerve, or a stinger as we now call it in this day and age. Mike?
You know, Reggie originally heard it back in March, then re-aggravated on the Malik Rose thing. Marbury said he felt like he broke his wrist because he had no feeling, and when he fell, he landed on his wrist. And obviously the shooting game problems, but he stayed in the game. Malik Rose pokes it out of bounds. Still Phoenix ball. San Antonio 5 for 5 from the free throw line. That's been one of their problems throughout the regular season and obviously in the playoffs. Game 1 decided by missed free throws.
I don't think Outlaw, they don't want Outlaw leading the break. I don't think that's their number one option.
Good help defense from Tim Duncan. Fosco. And Malik Rose pulls it down. Spurs have really come out with a lot of energy as Tony Parker can't finish down the other end. And nice play from Jackson to slow down Marbury. Well, the Spurs defense has just been excellent here in the first half. First quarter, that is.
Been very aggressive. Haven't allowed too many easy layups. They're forcing every jump shot.
Suns just 4 of 20 from the field. Shot clock down to 3. Marbury. Jackson got a hand on it. It's the help defenses is making all the difference. Malik Rose. Ginobili gets some ooze from the crowd. Duncan on the tip.
Really a good play by Ginobili. Fakes the pass, drives baseline, goes up underneath, misses the shot, and there's Duncan again for another offensive rebound.
And an offensive foul. Joe Johnson pushed off Manu Ginobili. And the Spurs will get it back as they've opened up a 10-point lead. Ginobili, who Frank Johnson said is really the wild card because he does so many things at both ends of the floor. He can frustrate a player. Joe Johnson a little frustrated by the aggressive defense and pushed off. And you see Jackson limping off.
Well, they never know what Ginobili's going to do. He can shoot the three, he can take it to the basket, he's a good passer, he handles the ball well, so he's a wild card in the fact that they can never, understand what he's going to do. They can't, they know Bruce Bowen's going to shoot the three. Ginobili will do a little bit of everything.
Malik Rose. Rose struggled shooting the ball in game 4, but he puts the Spurs up by a dozen here in the final minute, first quarter. Bosco again and draws the foul. Well, Jake Bosco playing very aggressively here in the first quarter. Marbury set him up nicely, and he'll shoot a couple. That foul against Rose, his first.
This is what Marbury does real well. He takes it off the screen and roll, draws 2 men. Nice little bounce pass to Bosco, who, like you said, is fearless. He just knows no other way to play but extremely hard and attacks the glass. And in the last game, he did a great job in the fourth quarter of making some big shots down the stretch, just doing that, taking it to the glass.
Way off on the free throw. Catch the NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV Wednesday at 8. Tracy McGrady and the Magic try to close out the top-seeded Pistons in Game 5. That's the Magic and Pistons Wednesday at 8 in HD only on NBA TV.
I don't see the energy out of the Suns right now, and I hope they don't think that they can wait to the fourth quarter in this game to try to pull another one out. You're here at where the Spurs play, and there's no way they're going to allow them to stay in the game if they keep playing this way.
Bad pass from Malik Rose. Now, you always see in a playoff series, the team that loses the previous game just seems to come out with a little more force to begin the next game. The key is weathering that force in the opening minutes.
Well, obviously, this is a big game for the Spurs to be on their home floor, but I thought the Suns would come out with a lot more energy, and the Spurs are the team that's providing the energy. They're coming out, being aggressive on the defensive end, and being aggressive on the offense end, taking the ball to the basket.
Joe Johnson picks up his second foul. Ginobili has made an impact, and he'll go to the line as the Suns and the penalty. Ginobili already with a bucket, a couple of rebounds and a steal. Think about guys like Manu Ginobili and Steven Jackson as they add some flair to this Spurs team. A little bit of unpredictable aspect to them, which most of the times is good. Sometimes it's bad. They get a little out of control. But Ginobili has come a long way during the course of the season, learning the NBA game. Great European player. Of course, the World Championships, that's when he came. For Argentina, they won the silver medal.
You're right, they do sometimes get out of control, but as long as you do it 100% and make things happen, most coaches can live with it.
Mo Outlaw trying to go coast to coast, and the buzzer sounds. A key for the San Antonio Spurs, of course, is Tim Duncan, with the double teams not working here, at least in the first quarter. Duncan with 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks. But shooting the problem for the Phoenix Suns. Credit Duncan and the Spurs defense as Phoenix shoots 4 of 22 from the field. 1 quarter complete. Spurs by 13.
not getting into motion very well. You know, we're all disjointed. If we don't have it, Tony, you pull it out, you got it. Go ahead and get it swung. Now we go block to block, get two-man game. We're just keeping it on one side of the court. So if there's no break, let's get it swung and play our regular motion. See what we get out of it.
That's a great point by Coach there. When a team traps and double teams like the Suns do, if you keep the ball on one side of the court, you make it easy for them. If you swing it from the strong side to the weak side, it makes everybody move. The ball moves freer, and the defensive player can't find their man. So it's important that you move the ball from side to side and go a two-man game and force the traps.
Greg Popovich talked to a lot of the players and the coaches before the game, and I asked them all, give me a word to describe Popovich and the fact that he's got Coach of the Year. And this is the kind of words you heard. Malik Rose gets it inside to Duncan, blocked by Voskuhl. Duncan again, knocked out of bounds. Malik Rose, and Rose finishes strong. The words I heard from players and coaches were heard real 3 different times, honest, straightforward. These were the words that described him. They said, hey, he does not mince words. If he's unhappy with it, he tells you. If he's proud of it, he tells you. You just know always where he's coming from as Marion misses.
And players respect that. They may not like what he says all the time, but at least, like you said, they know that he's being up front with them, and they can expect him to do what he says he's going to do.
Ginobili comes up short on the shot, and here comes Marbury. 15-point lead for San Antonio. Of course, the Suns have battled back from a number of double-digit deficits in this series to win a couple of the games. They were down 12 in the fourth quarter of game 4 and won. They were down 12 in the second half of game 1 here at the SBC Center and won that one. And Hardaway fouled before the shot. Hardaway wanted a continuation. Bennett Salvatore and Teddy Bernhardt say no.
Spurs are doing a great job of keeping their bodies in front and not letting the Suns penetrate and get all the way to the basket. And the Suns are only shooting 18%, so Spurs defense has really stepped up in the early going.
Ginobili, that foul, his first. Yeah, that's what the Spurs are all about. Frank Johnson very upset. But their defense has been their strength the last several years. That's the really calling card for Popovich as Hardaway makes a nice move to the basket.
And it's easy, too, when you're a guard or a forward on the Spurs. I remember when I played with Miami and I had Alonzo Mourning back at the basket, I knew I could be very aggressive because if somebody did happen to get by me, which happened a lot, I knew Mourning would be there to block the shot most likely. The same thing with Duncan and David Robinson. They knew they had those 2 big guys back underneath the basket to help them out if they are too aggressive and they get beat.
All out of bounds. I really admire that self-deprecating part about your career. You have lots to be proud of, Dan. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Like what? No, I could hold with the best of them.
I remember a lot of those Nick Heat series giving people fits at both ends of the floor. Johnson had some big shots at the end of game 4, not that time, and the shooting woes continue. How about the rebounding numbers? 22-8 in favor of the Spurs. And a foul on the way up. You know, I think one of the problems now, Spurs are getting great passes down low. The perimeter guys are not making it difficult to get the ball in.
You're right, and the thing the Spurs are doing so well, they're getting the ball off the basket, they're pushing up the side of the floor, and the big guys are running to their spots right underneath the baskets and not allow the Suns to push them out. And the Spurs guards are making an effort to get it to them the ball as quickly as possible to the big guys underneath the basket.
And Malik Rose will shoot a couple. That the last foul going against Hardaway, his second. Casey Jacobson and Amari Stoudemire come back in. Stoudemire 2 quick fouls. Rose, meanwhile, continues to blossom and get better. Early in the season, he had signed a big contract in the offseason, Malik Rose. And sometimes players feel they have to justify the numbers. He came out, he tried to be an offensive star, was making spin moves, and was really struggling, playing some of his worst basketball. Him and Greg Popovich, they talked about it, and he finally said, hey, you've got to go back to what got you that contract, defense and rebounding. And he's really turned it around the second half of the season.
Yeah, I love the way he plays. He's the dirt worker on the team. He gets offensive rebounds. He does all the little things that may not show up in the stats. But his teammates appreciate him. And he's a hard guy to guard because he's not very big, but he's very strong and he's very athletic and mobile.
Robinson back in. The last foul on Ginobili, so Ginobili has 2. Steven Jackson comes in for him. Duncan gets a breather. So right now, San Antonio with Jackson, Bowen, Robinson, Malik Rose, and Speedy Claxton. Anthony Hardaway has quietly had a good all-around series. Jacobson Gotta respect his three-point shot. Robinson deflection. Boy, Robinson's presence continues to be a big part of the Spurs defense.
There's no secret he's not 100%, so you got to give him a lot of kudos for being out there and playing under such pain. He does a great job. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's been a real fine player for a long time.
Slight tear of the knee ligaments. Let him sit out a little bit in the playoffs. Ball knocked loose still. And how about Malik Rose just boxing out? Rose, an undersized power forward. Robinson. Nice patience on that move, and then the quick step.
Bad job by the Suns on the double team. They let him split the double team, and you got an easy basket. The Suns just aren't aggressive enough, making him pass the ball out.
But you're right, the Suns' defense, it's just not the same than what we've seen in this series. Marion can't hit. Malik Rose, good strong hands. Claxton has it knocked away. 4-on-1 break for Phoenix. Good ball movement. And Sean Marion with his easiest shot attempt of the night. Marion, the only one that can find the hoop. He is 4 of 10. And the rest of the team, 2 for 18. San Antonio by 15, just over 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Along with Dan Marley and Reggie Theus, Mike Green on hand for game 5. Malik Rose in and out. Rose looks a little tired, boy. He has been going all out. Johnson knocked away by Claxton. Last touch by Johnson. The Spurs defense continues to give Frank Johnson fits, but Johnson also letting the officials know he's yelling, and he's just picked up a technical foul.
Great drama is always based on reality.
The things that stay with us are the stories that resonate with our own experiences.
Great drama seems to find these stories that speak to everyone.
Entertainment presents the critically acclaimed award-winning movie, Standing in the Shadows of Motown. Now available on a 2-disc special edition DVD. The Funk Brothers played on more #1 hits than the Beach Boys, the Rolling Stones, Elvis, and the Beatles combined. And this is their story.
Without them, there really wouldn't be a Motown.
An ear-opening celebration that will make you stand up and cheer. I'd give it 4 stars. Standing in the Shadows of Motown. Own it today.
The cost of family entertainment is dropping. Now you can spend your weekends on the water because every Yamaha boat is only $99 a month with 0 down. Choose from the AR210 wakeboarding boat or the award-winning SR230 with 280 horsepower and its innovative stern design. You'll even get a low APR of 3.9% for a year. See your Yamaha dealer today.
Frank Johnson picking up a technical foul right after that last time out was called. He's been hot the last couple of possessions, and he came way out onto the floor to confront Sean Corbin. Corbin had to give him a 2 when he came out that far. Johnson is team down 15, giving up a point. Not what you want to do to get back in the game, but maybe wants to light a fire under his team, and you feel a fire that's not been there tonight.
Yeah, it's too bad Frank doesn't have a uniform on. I'm sure he'd like to see some of his players that kind of fire. You know, I noticed there's no tenacity, there's no sense of urgency with the Suns tonight. And I noticed the first thing in the first game of Phoenix, when I went back to Phoenix after taking a split here in San Antonio, they played the same way. And my question is, how can you not be excited? How can you not come out with fire and intensity in this kind of a playoff atmosphere? I mean, it's 2-2. You have a chance to win on somebody else's floor and go back home and maybe end a series, and they come out and play this way. It's got to be disappointing.
Let's go to Reggie Theus.
Hey, Mike, I want to tell you that in that timeout, Frank Johnson was alluding to a lot of the things that Dan Marley was talking about. He said, you guys are going back to the same thing you did in Game 2, playing one side of the floor. He said, the fact is, we're a better team when we play offense on both sides of the floor. We've only got 18 points, and not only that, guys, we're getting killed on the boards. You got to play some basketball, fellas. Mike?
You know, Reggie, when you talk about all different numbers and X's and O's, sometimes it just comes down to a team playing a lot harder. And here in the first half, the Spurs just seem to want this one a lot more.
Well, it's not even close. They're coming out just on that last basket. You see them cutting to the basket, getting inside position, and getting layups. Spurs want this a lot more than the Suns want.
David Robinson has very quietly had a huge impact on this game. And not just with those points. His defense, he has been smothering on the defensive end.
They're absolutely just toying with them down there. They're getting any kind of position they want. They're throwing the ball in. There's no pressure on the passer. And when he does miss a shot, he just grabs it and lays it up on his second try.
Jacobson for three. Casey Jacobson knocks it down. Great shooter, the rookie, with his first field goal of the series, his first points. 17-point lead for San Antonio. Just over 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Malik Rose. Boy, Rose has so much energy tonight.
Well, he's just too big down there for Shawn Marion. Marion not known as a physical player, and it'd be hard for him to guard somebody like Rose one-on-one down in the post.
10 points, 7 rebounds in just 10 minutes from Malik Rose. Jacobson, nice pass though, deflected. The Spurs just with a lot of hands. Claxton inside. And the Spurs defense just dominating here in the first half. Frank Johnson, you can see, can't believe the way his team being blown out here in the first half. And a foul call. Bruce Bowen called for it. Every pass, every shot by the Phoenix Suns is being contested.
Yeah, you saw there, David Robinson came over and stepped up and prevented Shawn Marion getting all the way to the basket. Stoudemire didn't roll to the basket. Shawn thought he would through a bad pass.
Bowen's first, team's third. Hardaway for three. Benny Hardaway knocks it down. But Phoenix still shooting just 27% from the field. Greg Popovich wants to talk it over. Just past the midway point of the second quarter. The San Antonio Spurs, team with the best record in the NBA, #1 seed, playing like it tonight.
When you leave this building, you will be endowed with all my powers. All the powers of God.
This Memorial Day, the guy next door,
I've never seen the moon that big.
We really shouldn't waste it, gets his shot at being the man upstairs.
Sam?
Jim Carrey. Bruce Almighty. Rated PG-13. At theaters Friday, May 23rd.
In a place of beauty.
What's your name?
Winnie.
She found her first love.
I wish this moment could last forever.
A love with a timeless secret.
I'm gonna be 17 until the end of the world.
This fall, live each day like there was no tomorrow.
Come on!
Alexis Bledel, Jonathan Jackson.
Wanna spend forever with me, Winnie?
Tuck Everlasting.
Now playing on Blockbuster pay-per-view movies.
Hey, sports fans! Can't get enough Major League Soccer action? Want to catch more spectacular goals by Kobe Jones, Brian McBride, and Clint Mathis? Fantastic saves by Tony Meola and Tim Howard? And incredible tackles by Jeff Akers and Chris Armas? Then sign up today for the MLS Shootout Package. If you love soccer, you'll love every minute of this season's non-stop excitement. To order this season's MLS Shootout Package for only $49, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or log on to DirecTV.com now.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy. And Jordan, what do you love?
Second quarter in San Antonio, Game 5.
Martin Lawrence, Luke Wilson, Blue Streak, Friday night at 10:30, only on TNT.
Spurs, meanwhile, with a mean streak here in this first half. They are just dominating. Lots of smiles on the Spurs bench.
I know they're a little angry. They thought they let 2 games slip away. And you can sense tonight they're not going to do that. They're going to come down here. They're going to try to get the Suns down and then step on the throat, end it early.
You can't win games being out-rebounded 25-9.
No, you can't. You know, they're doing a good job offensively on the boards, getting their missed shots. They're just getting too many easy baskets. I mean, that's just a classic high-low play where these 2 guys have been doing it for so long. They know exactly what's going on. And they got to get pressure on Duncan so he's not allowed to throw that kind of pass.
Again, David Robinson, 6.6 rebounds, but his impact much more than just those numbers here in the first half. Stoudemire had it, lost it, out of bounds. Spurs just more physical, more aggressive.
They have absolutely just taken the Suns out of this. I mean, they're not doing anything right out there. That was a great pass, and Stoudemire just bounced it off his foot.
You know, in talking to players and coaches before the game, people from the Suns were saying, you know, we really haven't played one good game in this series. People from the Spurs, you know, we really haven't played one good game in the series. Well, the Spurs now are doing that. Robinson just kind of flips it up there. Ball knocked out of bounds by Vasco. Every bounce going San Antonio's way. But you say that a lot during the playoff series because everybody's playing so hard defensively. There's a lot of ugly games, a lot of scrappy games. Parker will inbound. They get a new 24. But remember, Phoenix is a team that sometimes plays its best when it's down. It's a huge number, biggest margin of the series so far. Ball knocked out of bounds by Hardaway.
And that's what the Suns have actually done well, not today's game, but they have such big guys with long arms. They can go down there, they can affect the passes, and it's made it tough for Tim Duncan to get the ball out. But they've done a good job, the Spurs have done a good job in this game of getting low post position underneath the basket and then just turn around and lay it in.
This is game 5 of this opening round best-of-7 set. Suns and Spurs all tied at 2 apiece. Along with Dan Marley and Reggie Theus, Mike Green on hand and Parker off the bounce. Game 6 will be in Phoenix on Thursday night, and Game 7 would be Saturday if necessary in San Antonio. Don't count the Suns out yet. Duncan with the steal. Suns just a step slow with everything. Oh, beautiful pass by Bowen.
Good recognition by Tim Duncan to get it out quickly. Bowen got it on top of the key. Saw David Robinson. That's where his size is the big thing. At 7'1", he can cut down the middle, and it's hard for anybody to guard him.
What you said, quickly, and that's the decision Duncan's made all night. Everything a quick decision. Again, another shot contested. Jackson, Duncan, strip but a foul. Stephon Marbury called for it, and Duncan will shoot 2. Robinson getting a standing ovation as he goes to the bench. .6 rebounds, couple of assists, and several block shots for David Robinson as Duncan will go to the line. Duncan also playing superbly. More chance at MVP. The Phoenix Suns have more turnovers than field goals. 9 turnovers, just 8 field goals.
And this is where the Spurs have to get better if they want to win a championship or get out of this series even. They got to become better at shooting free throws, especially down the stretch. That's how they lost game 1.
Duncan misses a pair. His 23-point lead is the largest of the series. And most of the games have been close, although Phoenix has had to come back from double digits in both their victories. And it's still very early, but this is just a dominant performance. Parker, offensive foul. Nice play from Penny Hardaway. Stayed with Parker after he released it, drew the charge. Parker's second personal.
Marbury just having a terrible time trying to get himself going here. He's trying to get the basket, missing shots, and hasn't been able to do anything right out there.
0 for 6 is Marbury. Again, you wonder about the stinger if that's affecting the shot, but it's more than just that. They're just not playing well. Hardaway with his 3rd field goal. Well, what Phoenix has to do here is just try and cut into the lead before halftime and then slowly chip away. That's the way they've done it in the past. Again, smaller deficits, but it's the same theory.
Well, they got to find an attitude adjustment when at halftime. They got to come out and play harder. They're just not playing hard enough to Spurs are getting actually anything they want. They're getting second shots. They're getting easy post-ups, just toying with it.
Jackson's pass deflected. Good defense from Sean Marion. Bosco. Tell you what, Bosco playing a solid game. Crowd a little anxious as the lead cut to 19. And up by as many as 23. Under 3 minutes remaining. Duncan just seems so confident in that double team now. He's getting used to it. And Duncan called for his second foul. Loose ball foul on Duncan. And we'll take a timeout. Spurs not in the penalty yet. Operating on all cylinders here in the first half.
Picture the moon glow. It dazzles my eyes, and I love you. Fresh and deep as ocean's blue.
The best things in life are pure, especially when it comes to water. Aquafina, purity guaranteed.
Pure and simple just for you.
They out there with the fun out there. We gonna hit out there with nothing to fear. Tear up a spot, get hot to make it rock. Always start here with the clear. Yo, number one, you gotta get with your real ones. Two, what you do is pop a couple of clear ones. Number three, call up a breezy. Four, on the floor, maintain the high score. Five, feeling alive, we jump into the ride, which brings us to six at the venue in the mix. They out there with the fun out there, make it last out there. Always start with the clear.
That ain't no shot.
No, that's a crime.
They're ready for the NBA playoffs, are you?
The NBA playoffs are on TNT, but you can still catch the drama of Law & Order weeknights on TNT.
EJ in Atlanta, they got a tight game going on. Game 5 at Continental Airlines Arena between the Bucks and the Nets. Sam Cassell off the mark, but Desmond Mason banging the offensive glass. Cuts the lead to 3. New Jersey on top of the Bucks, 36-33, under 3 minutes to go in the half. Mike?
Ernie, that's been a great series, certainly. So is this one, although San Antonio dominating. This is the first of 2 games tonight on TNT. Another Game 5 coming up. Talk about a great series at the Target Center in Minneapolis. It's the Timberwolves hosting the LA Lakers. That's coming up next after this one. And then tomorrow, 3 Game 5s. Philadelphia, Dallas, and Sacramento can all wrap up their series on their home floor. As Game 5s tomorrow night as well on TNT. A slow process now for the Suns to try and get back in this one. They've been down by as many as 23. Nice pick and roll. Duncan blocked it, but a foul, and they call it against Tim Duncan. That's his second. Or do they call it against Rose? My correction. Foul on Malik Rose, his second, because that would have been Duncan's third.
Hardaway and Bosco, 2 of the bright spots, if there are any, for the Suns today. Bosco's come off the bench and provided a spark and taken out of the basket. Hardaway's done a good job of making some shots and making some plays for the other guys.
Bosco to the line. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Hits that. Coming up to Verizon at the half. Ernie would be joined by Kenny and NBA great Dominique Wilkins. We'll have a preview of the second game of the doubleheader between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. And the usual fun with Ernie, Kenny, and Dominique. Bosco hits a pair. 17-point game, just under 2.5 to play here in the second.
Where's my guy Charles? Has he ever recovered from the LPGA stint carrying that bag around?
I don't know.
I was afraid he wasn't going to get out of half of those traps.
His own defense for the Suns. Ginobili, nice look. Malik Rose continues to have a superb first half. 12 points, 8 rebounds for Rose.
That's why I like his game. Ginobili made a move, sees the court really, really well. Made a drive, his teammate cut. Rose hit him for a perfect pass, laid it up. He's just such a good player, does the right things.
Jackson again hobbling, comes off. Stephen Jackson shaken up for the second time. Bowen comes in. But how many times have you seen passes just deflected by the Spurs tonight?
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're scrambling. They're playing a lot like the Suns have played their defense. They're all over the place. Their hands are active. They're not making it easy for the Suns to make any shots.
Duncan with his 10th rebound. Jackson, by the way, just going back to the Spurs locker room. Duncan.
This is unbelievable. I mean, Duncan runs down from the defensive end, runs all the way down, not even touched, cuts through the middle lane, and it's just a little touch pass, and he lays it in.
Phoenix Suns going to do some soul searching at halftime. Duncan got a hand on that. Hardaway thought he was fouled. But you know there's a problem when every time you're taking a shot, you're looking at the ref for the foul call. Spurs just so aggressive here in the first half. And Duncan's going to sit down with 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 2 assists.
A bad half.
And we said at the top, he had to play a smart game, and he did. He's getting used to these double teams, and every decision is a quick decision, not giving him time for the defense to set in. And foul on Bosco.
At least he knocked somebody down, be physical or something. They just get manhandled all game. At least I like to see them do a little physical themselves and not let them lay the ball in the basket.
They're not in the penalty yet, and that'll go to show you, because Phoenix, when they're playing their aggressive defense and committing some fouls, Frank Johnson, in fact, he told us that earlier. Now, he doesn't mind that because he knows guys are scrambling, playing hard. He doesn't care if they commit fouls, as long as they're going after guys. That has not been the case in the first half. Malik Rose, once again, throws 6 of 9 from the field. Lead back up to 23.
What I like seeing is the Spurs aren't letting up one bit. I think they've learned their lesson. They know they haven't played well in this series. He lets Phoenix Suns off the floor a few times, and that's not going to happen today. They want to come out and play 48 minutes of strong basketball and not let up one bit.
So on the defense of 3 seconds, a technical foul, and Marion will shoot that. That may be the first thing defensively that the Spurs did wrong here in the first half. Steve Smith, of course, he's limited minutes now, getting some action here in the final minute. Hardaway flips it up. Malik Rose again, and a loose ball foul is going to go against Bo Outlaw. And now the Suns in the penalty. Second foul in the last 2 minutes. See Rose and Hardaway laughing there. Now, you don't know what it is, but if you're the Phoenix Suns, you don't want to see anybody laughing and smiling on the floor right now.
Nothing to laugh or smile about. They won't be laughing tomorrow when they watch the tape, I can tell you that much.
Greg Popovich told us before the game, the number 1 key to this is if we play the kind of defense that we're known for, that we play most of the time. We can't let the Phoenix Suns score on the up near 100 points. We've got to keep them in the 80s. Well, right now they got him at 30 with 25 seconds to go in the first half. That seemed to be accomplished, at least for the first half.
Pretty much.
Malik Rose with 14 points in that first half. Shot clock and game clock just about even as we wind down the opening 2 quarters. Zone defense again from San Antonio. They mixed it up nicely. 3 seconds remaining in the half. Marbury way off, and that is a fitting way to end the first half for the Phoenix Suns. Stephon Marbury 0 for 7 from the field, and the Suns shoot 26%. They get a standing ovation here at the SPC Center. Tim Duncan brilliant in the first half with 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 block shots. The Spurs could not play defense any better than that. A smothering, maniacal defense from the number 1 seed. Halftime here of Game 5, a 24-point lead from San Antonio.
Jake Bosco. So the Suns, if they have any chance of coming back, they got to play a lot harder than they did in the first half.
Numbers will show. The Spurs just played with so much more spirit. 26% from the field, out-rebounded by 20 in a playoff game. That is unbelievable. By the way, the big difference in the Celtics comeback, they were on their home floor.
That helps a little bit.
A little bit. But the Suns have to take it just, again, slowly try and chip away. Bruce Bowen draws the foul. Let's go to Reggie Theus.
Hey, Mike, first of all, for the San Antonio Spurs, Steven Jackson will not play the rest of the game. He has a strained right tendon in his ankle, and of course, they said he'll be ready for next Thursday's game, but right now, as a precautionary, he's not going to play the rest of the game. Now, Coach Popovich said he really loves the way his team is playing offensively. They're just basically staying in motion and getting the job done. But to finish the game, they got to keep the defense up, and they got to continue to pound them on the boards. Now, on the other side, Coach Frank Johnson with the Suns said there's an avalanche of things he had to talk about at halftime. The one being they had to turn it up defensively. This is a team that scores off their defense. They are not a half-court team. And, of course, the one thing that's looked at them all game here is that they have to share the basketball, something that they didn't do in the first half. Guys?
All right, Reggie, a plethora of problems for the Suns in the first half. They call a foul against Tony Parker, who quickly picks up his third. Now, the first couple of minutes are going to determine whether or not Phoenix has a chance to get back into this game. Marbury. Marion the floater. Again, it outside, but a foul call on Bruce Bowen.
Good call. Sean took the ball basket, got hit in the side of the head by Bowen, causing him to miss the shot. But it didn't start off well because Bowen went down there, cut right to the basket, got a easy look at the basket, got fouled, and he didn't make the free throws. And again, I say that's something the Spurs really going to have to work on if they want to be a great team. They got to knock down their free throws.
And also not settle for outside. They've got to drive to the basket, try and get the Spurs in the penalty early so they can stop the clock while they're scoring.
I like what they're doing here, picking up full court, hopefully to get their energy going a little bit, cause some turnovers, and get some easy baskets.
Greg Popovich told us before the game he felt at times in this series that the Suns were just the more aggressive team and more physical, and it's just been the opposite here in the first half. Shot clock winding down. Duncan certainly has that range, but the shot contested nicely by Stoudemire. Offensive foul, Stoudemire on a moving pick has an argument for Bennett Salvatore. It's not going to help, though, as he picks up his third personal.
Stoudemire gets a lot of these kind of fouls, and it happens because Marbury goes too quick before he gets there, and Stoudemire never gets to be able to set his feet, and that's called a moving pick.
I thought, though, a lot of that, his left shoulder, he kind of moved forward into him.
He just never established himself in a solid position. He just kept on running. Like you said, he did give him a little bit of shoulder, but Stephon has to wait a little bit and let Stoudemire sit there and set the screen and then go off.
Yeah, the foul's going to go against Bo Outlaw. Outlaw overly aggressive on his post defense, so 3 fouls on Outlaw. Outlaw has not played a lot in this series. In fact, the reason Tom Gugliotta got to play some big minutes in Game 4 was because Outlaw was taking a bathroom break. Steve Smith knocks down the shot. Frank Johnson looked down and said, Bo, but he wasn't on the bench. He was going to the bathroom, so Gugliotta got to come in, and it worked out well because Gugliotta played some nice minutes.
Yeah, and he was in there so long, Coach Johnson had to send one of the assistant coaches to go find him. They were worried about him, and I was joking with Bo. I said, watch your lunch because Googs may throw something in your lunch again, so he wants more playing time.
Well, I think maybe we shouldn't go any further than that. Hardaway, that's a 2-pointer for Penny Hardaway. And the Suns back within 22. Just opening minutes here. Spurs not showing any signs of letting down in terms of their aggressive defense. But the Suns, you can see a different body language defensively for them. Parker draws the foul.
I don't know about that call. I think that was more Parker causing the contact than anything. I think Marion was just standing there and Parker kind of threw his shoulder into him. Comes off the screen, he gets a double team. He just kind of jumps into Sean. Sean was still running, but I think, if anything, that's a no call. That's kind of a bailout call.
I think there he was, because he was still running.
Yeah. Still Parker caused the contact. I mean,
Smith's tough shot. Outlaw the rebound. Phoenix Suns have been a very resilient team. Shot clock was not reset, so Sean Corbin quickly sees that, stops it. I wonder what Frank Johnson, his tone was during the intermission.
I don't think it was nice.
You know, we were asking him earlier today about some of the influences he's had for coaches that he's played with. He picked up a technical in the first half. He can be very fiery. He remembered Kevin Lockery. He says, maybe I took a little bit of the fire from playing for Kevin Lockery, who at times led the league in technicals for coaches.
Well, you know, Frank was a fiery player. He loved to come out and play. I played with him where he came in, and we used to call him fourth quarter Frank, and he'd come in and and lead us to a lot of victories with his clutch play in the fourth quarter. He was a natural leader out there. So he gets that same style in his coaching. He's just an active guy over there and loves the game.
Well, he's got them playing better here in the third quarter. It's Hardaway with a chance for three-point play. Duncan has picked up his third foul. Well, they've picked up the energy and the intensity. And the key, of course, they put themselves too many behind.
They had nowhere to go but up. They couldn't go any lower than they were. I can tell you that much. They came out here. It's amazing they came out with the effort in the first half.
And here's some of that full court pressure. They've sliced 5 points off the lead in less than 2.5 minutes, and that's the way to do it. Just slowly chip away. Outlaw really getting physical with Duncan down low, doing a good job fronting. Shot clock at 4. Parker. Stoudemire tips it. Good defense from Marbury on Parker that time. And Stephon Marbury and a foul. And the Phoenix Suns slowly getting back into it. Just like that, it's a 17-point game. Parker, his fourth foul.
Good series for the Suns. Played excellent defense. Because they got a defensive rebound, got the ball on a break. Marbury does what I think probably he does best in this league, is take the ball to the basket and finish.
Well, you look at Marbury, and obviously he's so talented, but his strength, in addition to his talent, he's 205 pounds and just solid.
Well, when he makes up his mind, he's going to the hole. There's nothing you can do about it. Just because I said he is one of the strongest point guards in the league, and also one of the quickest. And when he does that, he creates for the other players. It makes the game a lot easier for Marion, Stoudemire, Hardaway. When he penetrates, it makes their game much easier.
Steve Smith. Bowen nearly falls out of bounds. Shot clock winding down again. Ball knocked loose. Last touch by Stoudemire.
You can just see the Suns being more active now. They're getting their hands more on the ball. They're out guarding their guys. They're not giving them anything easy.
Are they going to change the call? Yes. Again, Sean Corbin and Bennett Salvatore talk about it. And that's why you've got 3 refs out there. Sometimes the guy makes a call, doesn't have the best view, and they decide, give it back to Phoenix. 8-0 run by the Phoenix Suns. They've come out in the third quarter with some spirit. Something sorely lacking in the first 2. Stoudemire puts it in, and 10 straight points by the Suns. Greg Popovich has seen enough. They have sliced 10 points off the lead in just over 3 minutes. Talk about getting back in the game in a hurry.
Oh, what a play! Did you see that move?
Mom, Dad, we're here.
Oh, great.
Oh!
The Hyundai Sonata with America's best warranty.
Boy, am I hungry.
When life keeps getting better, you win.
Thanks for making me a fighter.
Oh, big finish!
Makes me that much stronger.
Great pass! Yeah, baby! Oh, yeah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about!
Welcome to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai. Your car comes with America's best warranty. You win. And Armor All. Doesn't just clean and shine, it protects.
More drama, more attitude, more lethal than ever.
I get my right arm for a siren right now.
Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Chris Rock. Lethal Weapon 4. Friday night at 8 on TNT.
Third quarter, a different scenario for the Phoenix Suns. They've come out and have outscored San Antonio 12-2, including the last 10 points, and they've done it in a hurry, Dan Marley.
done a good job. They're more active defensively. They're getting better looks at the basket. They're cutting, taking it hard to the hole. So when I like this, they're up full court, trying to pressure the Spurs, trying to change the whole aspect of this game.
Now, what happens often when you're way behind and come back, it takes a lot out of you. But they've knocked off 10 points off the lead, and again, it's just a little over 3 minutes.
Well, they conserve enough energy in the first half that they don't have to worry about all that.
And Ginobili turns it over. Suns shot 26% from the field in the first half. They're 4 for 4 to start the third quarter. Good defense from Claxton. Parker sitting down now with 4 fouls. Hardaway gets a 3. Penny Hardaway from downtown. A 13-0 run by the Phoenix Suns. And it's down to an 11-point game. Another turnover. Outlaw. Marbury trying to save it. And nice sportsmanship there from Malik Rose. Marbury could have hurt himself, but Rose gets up and grabs him to make sure he doesn't. Boy, you like to see that.
Yeah, that was really nice because, Marbury was going there pretty hard. Most of the time, these guys just kind of get out of the way, but they made sure he didn't crash into the crowd. So.
The San Antonio Spurs are a different team here in the third quarter. Duncan, and Tim Duncan comes right back, and that is a huge bucket because the momentum had so completely shifted.
Just being patient down there. They come down too late on the double team to get hits on the arm. Completes the play.
You know, depending on how the game works out, you'd never think a basket early in the third quarter can make such a difference as Steve Smith comes in for Bruce Bowen. But those kind of baskets to stop a team on a big run can really turn a game. The lead back to 14. Obviously still very early in the third. The Phoenix Suns, a team that has beaten San Antonio here on their home floor once during the regular season and in game 1 of the series. Marbury, that's a 2 from Marbury. Duncan the rebound. Marbury now 1 for 9. You really have to wonder about, that stinger that he got. Robinson can't finish. Stoudemire gets it.
I think it's still bothering him because that shot didn't look normal. Came off his hand a little bit funny, so I think that elbow is still bothering him.
Stoudemire's come out with a lot of force.
But he can still do that as good as anybody. Take the ball in the basket, draw the defense, and hit an open man.
12-point game. We've played 5 minutes here in the third. Bad pass from Duncan. The Suns defense just so much more active. Outlaw foul by Smith. And a 2-shot foul, so Outlaw will go to the free throw line, which is always an adventure. But right now, Phoenix just happy the way they've come storming out here in the third quarter. Reggie Theus talked about how offensively Frank Johnson wanted better ball movement. Get everybody involved, move it around. As Outlaw hits the free throw, 6 baskets, 6 assists for the Suns here in the third. Log on to NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com.
We're getting a lot of those baskets off of turnovers and off of defensive rebounds where they get out in transition and they're not in a half-court set, which is the way they play better anyway.
Bo Outlaw, 51% career free throw shooter, knocks down 2, and it's a 10-point game. Phoenix Suns have knocked off 14 points off the lead. We're not even midway through the third. Smith for 3. Had a couple of chances of going in. Again, when you have confidence against a certain team, even when you're down big, you still feel you can come from up. Phoenix Suns have not lacked confidence in this series.
They're getting on the offensive boards nice, which they haven't been in the first half. And you're right, the Suns have come back in a lot of these games. They feel like they have the ability to, overcome any kind of lead.
And a moving screen again. Bo Outlaw charged for the foul. But Frank Johnson up and applauding his team. He is fired up. 5 fouls on Outlaw. He'll probably come out now. Big Bosco will check in. But Outlaw doing his job. A big part of the energy to start the third quarter.
He just hates to come out of the game. He just loves to play. He can't get enough basketball. He plays all summer. He just loves playing basketball.
We're midway through the third, and the Phoenix Suns have gotten themselves back into a game that they were absolutely dominated in the first half. Speedy Claxton took his eye off it, and the turnovers continued to mount for the San Antonio Spurs. Now 14 for the game, 5 already here in this third quarter.
And that's what hurt the Spurs in Game 4, just mindless turnovers. I mean, that was an unforced there. He made a good pass, and Claxton just took his eye off the ball, and it goes out of bounds.
In both games that they've lost in the series, San Antonio had 12-point leads in the second half and lost. Even in Game 2 that they won, they had a big lead, then fell behind, wound up coming back and winning. And Stoudemire trying to force it in there. Ginobili stolen by Marbury. Great anticipation. Stoudemire stripped but fouled.
Good pass by Marbury. Then he just put it off the dribble and go under and hand pass to Stoudemire, who got fouled.
Did they change uniforms in the locker room at halftime?
They might have. Again, the Spurs just being careless with the basketball. They should have learned of what happened in the game before. They got to take care of the ball, make sure they get shots and not turnovers. And the Suns are doing a better job of being active.
Ginobili, his third foul. A concerned look from Greg Popovich, and Stoudemire can't hit the free throw. But holding on to leads has been a problem for Popovich's team. And again, even in Game 2, they were up by 12 in the third quarter, then wound up trailing by 7 in the fourth quarter before coming back and win it. So it's been a problem all series. However, missed free throws is not going to help you trying to bounce back from a 24-point deficit.
Yeah, those were two big misses there.
Claxton, how about Stoudemire come back, almost taking it from him, and an 8-second violation. Another turnover.
Pretty impressive by the 6'9" Stoudemire getting in front of Claxton and almost stealing the ball. Here we are. The Suns in the first half will just drop it back. Now they're up. Stoudemire and Marbury are going to double team. He stays in, reaches in, calls the 8-second violation.
So a timeout call by Frank Johnson. They were down by 24 at halftime. The Spurs lead is only 10. 7 San Antonio turnovers in the third quarter, the main culprit for the Spurs. Want him to pick up his third before halftime for San Antonio. Look at the feed.
Doesn't Miller Lite taste great? Less filling!
Wait. What about this? Doesn't Miller Lite taste great?
Great taste! Great taste! Less filling! Great taste! Less filling! Less filling!
What do you think about that? That's art.
Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
I've got an idea.
I told you she had a boyfriend.
The Hyundai Tiburon, with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. When you can be counted on, you win.
To stay on top, a champion must always be ready for a fight. To go mano a mano with a warrior and never give an inch. To keep his edge, a champion must take on the most dangerous rival and never stop battling. Two great champions, two top contenders. De La Hoya versus Campos, Morales versus Velardes. Night of Champions, Saturday, May 3rd, live on Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View. Don't miss Night of Champions live on Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View Channel 101. Two great fights, one great night.
Message erased. Next message.
The Derby is coming, and TVG, the Interactive Horse Racing Network, is your place for exclusive coverage leading up to the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
Time flies when you're having fun.
TVG brings you live racing 7 days a week from America's best tracks. TVG, the Interactive Horse Racing Network.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta think they're not ready for Game 5 of the Timberwolves-Lakers series up there at the Target Center. I would say they are. It's coming your way around 9:30 Eastern Time. Game 5. the tiebreaker in the best of 7. Let's go back to Mike Green.
Earning game 5 in San Antonio. Spurs concerned, and Greg Popovich trying to fire up his team during the last timeout.
Spent a whole half being physical, being strong, doing everything we needed to do with the ball. Everything we needed to do on D, and now we're acting like they're supposed to lay down and die for us. We've lost leads in every game against these guys. Do not get tentative. It starts with the D and the board, and you got to push it up.
Popovich, who is the captain and leading scorer for the Air Force Academy, has his military background, a very good leader for this team, but not enraged there, but you just see annoyed.
Yeah, he doesn't want to find himself, in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go, knowing that a Hail Mary or a couple of calls here or there could make him lose another game. He wants his team to get back and playing the way they did the first half.
And a defensive 3 seconds called against the Suns. Amari Stoudemire the culprit, so a one-shot technical. Steve Smith will go and shoot the technical free throw. Smith, an 84% career shooter from the line. This is his first free throw attempt of the series, however. Gets the nice roll. Smith has only played in 1 game prior. Played 12 minutes earlier in the series. Has not played a heck of a lot, but getting some time because Steven Jackson, as Reggie Theus reported, will not return with a leg injury. Hurting his ankle early in the first half. Shot clock down to 8. Claxton poked away. Shot clock down to 2. Claxton has to put it up. Oh, tough shot from Speedy Claxton.
Good defensive series by the Suns, but Claxton made a good shot, a running bank shot, and a big bucket for the Spurs, give a little bit more momentum.
Suns, though, have gotten themselves back in it. Claxton had a very big game, too. Because of Parker's problems. Parker's problems tonight are foul difficulties. Marion, talk about another tough shot. And that's the kind of shots that get him going.
Shawn Marion loves going left. He's really good at that. Take the ball. He elevates so high he can get a shot up against anybody.
He's got 16. Suns within 11. Smith wide open. Steve Smith hits a big 3. And that's his first field goal of the series.
Well, he's done that well his whole career. This guy can really play. A veteran guy can still go out there and give you great solid minutes.
He must just, the adrenaline for even a veteran guy like that who hasn't hardly played in the series, he must have it just flowing.
Well, I know he loves to be on the floor. He's another guy who really loves the game, and anytime you can play in a big playoff series is good. And I'm sure he's glad to be out there, and he just hit a big shot.
Stoudemire comes right back. Amari Stoudemire, who had foul problems in the first half, he's been much more aggressive in the third. It's a different Phoenix Suns team, which had, you could really term it a disappointing first half with just their energy and desire. They've got that back though. Claxton, that's a tough shot. Going left and shooting right. Marbury still can't hit from outside. Marbury 1 of 10 from the field. That's what's amazing, how they're getting back in, but Marbury's doing other things. And Rose tripped up by Shawn Marion.
That's one thing the Spurs have done well all game. The big guys have really ran the floor well and just cutting right down the middle of the basket. Somebody in the Suns has got to step in there and take a charge.
Marion picks up his 3rd. Rose, who had that great first half, will go to the line for a couple. One of the reasons why Malik Rose just gets better and better every year, this is now his 7th year, he gets to face Tim Duncan in practice every day. And that would make you a better player.
Well, he gets to play with Tim Duncan every day, too. I mean, out there, the double teams off of Tim. And Rose is able to use his big body and slash in there, and he gets a lot of passes from Duncan and a lot of offensive rebounds. So they're a perfect complement to each other.
Free throw shooting at times has been a problem for the Spurs, but they're shooting 79% tonight, 15 of 19. The rebounding numbers have also turned around from the first half, as Phoenix doing a much better job here in this 3rd quarter. 14-point game, 3 minutes left 3rd quarter. This is game 5 at the SBC Center in San Antonio. Series tied at 2 apiece. Each team has won once on the road in the series. Marion can't finish. Duncan a rebound. 12 rebounds for Tim Duncan. And the big guy showing his ability to handle. Ginobili Finds Duncan. Vasco.
Vasco's doing a good job in there boxing out, getting rebounds. They limited Spurs' second shots here in the second half.
Marbury stripped down low. It was Claxton who got a hand on it. Ginobili alley-oop for Duncan. And a foul call on Hardaway. But again, it's the defense that is making the difference for the Spurs.
Nobody was just alley-oop there, and Penny Hardaway with the back or a hand in the small of the back and gives Duncan a little push.
Steve Smith gets a nice ovation as he goes to the bench. Bruce Bowen back in the game. Ginobili with that all-around talent, setting up Tim Duncan. And Duncan with 3 of 5 from the line. He's been hearing chance of MVP all game. Major League Baseball action returning Friday night to TBS Superstation at 10 p.m. Eastern as the Atlanta Braves take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's Friday night on TBS Superstation. Duncan hits a pair. Lead has crept back up to 16. Hardaway stolen by Ginobili. Nice feed ahead to Claxton. Claxton fouled. And that's 2 straight possessions. Fans wanted a flagrant, but no, that didn't appear to be. That's 2 straight possessions that they're scoring off steals.
Yeah, here you see him taking in. I think this is just a good hard foul. I don't think he meant to hit him. He just, Joe's a strong guy, and Speedy's not that big of a guy. So playoff basketball, you want to go up and just foul him and let him lay it in. So good foul by Joe.
Right, that shouldn't have been a flagrant. The definition of a flagrant 1 is unnecessary contact. A flagrant 2 is unnecessary and excessive. It has nothing to do with going for the ball. That time he just went to stop him, and it was a hard foul, but not unnecessary.
No, it was a good clean foul.
Stoudemire comes back in. Hardaway will sit. Johnson, meanwhile. And 3 fouls for Joe Johnson.
Well, it's interesting. You see what happens is when a team turns over the ball, we started this half, the Spurs were turning the ball over a little bit more, and that's when the Suns got out and ran and made some buckets. And here, the Suns have started to turn it over, and now the Spurs are getting easy buckets. It just goes to show you how important taking care of the ball is.
Speedy Claxton playing big minutes again because of the foul problems for Tony Parker. 2 minutes left, third quarter. Spurs have kind of regained momentum, back up by 17. Johnson, bad pass. And the way they've turned it around again is their defense.
Defense wins games, especially in playoffs. The team is more active, is usually going to get it done.
So 3 straight turnovers because of excellent defense by the Spurs. Claxton just couldn't finish. Marion for 3. And Malik Rose pulls down his 11th rebound.
You can tell Duncan gets double-teamed a lot because he knows exactly where his players are going to be at all times. He caught that ball, didn't have to look where he was, just turned around and made an excellent pass to Claxton.
Bruce Bowen. One thing the Spurs are doing a good job of tonight in not settling for the threes. Ball knocked out of bounds off Vasco. They're really, when the Suns defenders are coming out on them, they get a lot of ball fakes and taking it to the basket.
Yeah, they can't settle for 3, but I think it's good sometimes when the ball comes out to shoot the 3, because that, if they continually to drive, the Suns are not going to close out as hard. You got to launch some of those 3s to make sure the Suns are going to honor shooting the 3.
Duncan has to put it up quickly as the shot clock was expiring. Stoudemire with his 10th rebound of the game. Joe Johnson way off the mark. A minute remaining. Spurs have regained control of this one. They led by 24 at halftime. Phoenix came back, cut it to 10 at one point. They're now back up to 17. Malik Rose. Rose gets the roll. What a game for Malik Rose. 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Great patience by Duncan there. He caught, he held on to it. He turned to face the basket and just waited for Rose to cut underneath behind the defense for an easy layup.
A 13-4 run by the Spurs after a 17-3 run by the Phoenix Suns. Marion. And they're going to hold it for 1 shot. There's about a 2.5-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. As we wind down the third quarter, Speedy Claxton gets the play call from Greg Popovich. Shot clock down to 5. Duncan falls. Rose is going to have to put it up. Malik Rose off the mark. Marbury stripped by Ginobili. It'll count if it goes. And that will end the third quarter. The San Antonio Spurs weather the storm. A huge comeback attempt as they cut a 24-point lead down to 10. But the Spurs bounce back. 3 quarters complete here at the SPC Center. Spurs leading game 5 by 19.
There's only 2 ugly people in the world, and your mama's both of them.
You know, your mama's so fat, she stepped on the dollar and made change.
I heard your mama's so ugly, she robbed the bank with no gun, just stuck her head over the counter and say, put that money in that bag. Stick 'em up. Stick 'em up.
Timing was a little off.
Oh, timing was a little off. Timing is way off.
You're not funny.
Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Up top.
Little boy asks his neighbors why they're always working on their yard. Neighbor looks up. Nothing more relaxing. Nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty, she adds. Little boy's dad asks how they manage it all. Neighbor nods across the yard. Nothing runs like a deer. John Deere lawn and garden tractors. Durability, precision, versatility, and exclusive support for everyone who puts more into their yard and expects more out of their tractor.
Come on, guys, hustle.
Want to grow?
Let's go, man.
The calcium in milk helps.
And cheese for just $8.99. Come get a taste of our new bold flavor.
It's there at your fingertips. Armor All Protectant Wipes. They don't just clean and shine. They protect with just a wipe.
What you save on Ramada's weekend rate? Spend on film. Book your own getaway at Ramada.com. Ramada, a very good place to be.
Welcome back to San Antonio, where the Spurs leading game 5, 72-53. If you're just tuning in, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Spurs dominating in the first half. They led by 24, but the Suns came out, and within 5 minutes of the third quarter, it cut the lead to 10. But the Spurs regained it. How'd they do it, Dan Marley?
Defense. They came out and got back to being fiery, got to getting their hands on balls, getting turnovers, leading the fast breaks. Tim Duncan's done a great job, as he's done all series, of recognizing double teams and finding the cutters.
And you see Stephon Marbury, those numbers. That includes 1 for 10 tonight since that third quarter where he got that hard pick that injured or re-aggravated a right shoulder injury that kind of goes down to his elbow. It's numbness in his arm. That's really the first jumper he's hit, a 2-pointer, since it's happened. His 1 field goal tonight prior to that was a layup. Now, he claims it's not bothering him, but you got to say, he's triggered a shooter for that. Parker can't hit. Casey Jacobson out there for some three-point shooting grabs. Marion, and he's fouled on the pass. Bruce Bowen hit him from behind. So Bowen picks up his third.
And the Spurs bench has done a great job again tonight. They've scored 35 points and 18 rebounds to 12 points and 6 rebounds for the Suns. And that's been a story all series. The Spurs bench has outplayed the Suns bench in every game.
And usually it's a different player. Tonight it's Malik Rose. Rose with 20 points. Marbury Parker defended him well. But Stoudemire right there for the finish. Mari Stoudemire now with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Duncan. If guys hit shots off those double teams, it's almost impossible to beat this team.
And Sean Marion needed to rotate up there to Parker, and he did. He just stood on the weak side. It's kind of indicative of how the whole game's went. They just haven't went the extra mile to try to stop the Spurs.
This kid is unbelievable. He has got so much upside, and he can get bigger too.
About the 8 GMs who passed over on this kid on draft day. I mean, it's just remarkable the progress he's made from the beginning of the year and just how scary he could be of how good he is going to be, because he's got such a great mind. Mentally, he's a lot more mature, and he wants to be good. He listens, and he works hard.
You know, part of the scaring off was his family situation. His mother had been involved in a lot of situations with the law. She was arrested a number of times for things like check fraud and forgery. As all going down the other way. So the family situation scared off a lot of people, but Stoudemire, who's very supportive of his mother, said, hey, everything she did was for the sake of myself and the family and trying to make things better. It wasn't as easy, but he's been able to deal with all that adversity. Instead of making excuses, he takes responsibility. Robinson can't hit. That's what's been impressive about him.
And he's got a great guy working with him. Mark West, who used to play in the league and plays for Sun, is now assistant general manager, is kind of taken on as being his mentor. There's nobody better in the league than Mark West who can teach him how to deal with the things off the court.
Meanwhile, Malik Rose trying an Amari Stoudemire banker from way outside. 15-point game, still very early. Over 90 seconds gone by. Here in the fourth, Jacobson. Tough shot from Jacobson, and Stoudemire right there. And it's back to a 13-point game. Again, you don't know how much this takes a lot out of a team to continually come back from such a large margin.
It does, but they actually look like they feel pretty comfortable. I don't know why they have to wait until they're down 20 before they start playing harder, but two good plays by the rookie there. Jacobson took a strong good hole, and Stoudemire was there to finish the play.
Robinson traveled. And another turnover for the San Antonio Spurs. 17 total for the game. Ginobili will come back in. Bruce Bowen will sit. Phoenix Suns have done this all series, fallen behind and come back a couple of times. They've won it. And what you can say, perhaps a pivotal game 5. Jacobson. Stoudemire keeps it alive. Outlaw inside. Robinson defends him well. Outlaw will try it again. And Bo Outlaw with the left hand.
Great second effort by Outlaw. This is the first time got it back and finishes with the left hand.
Lead back to 11. Parker running the floor. And does a good job. Goes right at Stoudemire, who didn't want to pick up his 4th foul. The Suns a different team in the second half. Ginobili off the Marbury miss. It's pretty good right now. There's a couple of guys huffing and puffing out there. Rose wants it. Mismatch guarded by Jacobson. Marbury goes to double team. Rose goes right past him. Malik Rose having a superb night.
Yeah, that was way too easy. There's no way Jacobson could guard somebody like Rose down there. Somebody from the Suns had to come down and do a hard double team to get it out of his hands.
Parker fights over the screen. 22 points for Malik Rose. Outlaw forces an offensive foul from Bo Outlaw.
Good call there. He had nowhere to go and tried to get his man up there and jumped right into him and got the foul.
Outlaw's fouled out in 17 minutes. And the Spurs trying to stop another Suns comeback. Lead is 15 again.
They say you don't know what you want. That you have to get your act together. That it's time to find a direction in your life. And they say that you should find somebody. Oh yeah? Who says? What's most important is being you. Budweiser, true.
horsepower supercharged Nissan Xterra.
More drama, more attitude, more lethal than ever.
I give my right arm for a siren right now.
Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon 4. Friday night at 8, part of the Diet Coke Movie Fest on TNT.
What about Paris?
Why not the Caribbean? How can planning your next trip be even better?
Mexico?
Knowing your trip could be free.
Hawaii! Yeah!
Call now to request the City Advantage World MasterCard and you can earn free award travel plus get 8,000 bonus miles. And you can use your miles to fly on over 25 top airlines. You'll earn 1 mile for every dollar you spend on everyday purchases and on special purchases too. Call to request your card and 8,000 bonus miles. Plus now your miles never expire as long as you make a purchase with your card at least once every 3 years. Soon you'll be on the trip you plan. Use your miles to fly on over 25 top airlines, stay at the finest hotels worldwide, and drive with any major car rental company free. Call now to request your City Advantage World MasterCard and 8,000 bonus miles, and your next trip to almost anywhere could be free.
Three and a half gone by, fourth quarter in San Antonio. Spurs back up by 15. Time for another installment of Thunder Dan's Forecast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thunder Dan's Forecast. My forecast for tonight, Lakers. If there's one team in the NBA that I feel that plays well on the road and is not afraid to go on the road, it's the Los Angeles Lakers. I look for them to have a big game tonight in Minnesota and to win that game. You see their 19-8 road record in the playoffs. 6 of 12 series on the road with 2 championships. That team has no fear when it comes to pulling on the road and winning games.
And we'll find out later tonight on TNT. Now, just earlier, Frank Johnson trying to get Penny Hardaway to go into the game, but Hardaway saying no. Something's bothering him and did not go in. Hardaway, though, now in the game, along with Marbury, Stoudemire, Marion, and Jacobson. Whistle. We'll go against Phoenix.
He might have been telling him it was a timeout. He didn't want to walk all the way to the scoreboard and then walk back to the bench because of timeout. He wouldn't be able to get in anyway. Penny loves to play, boy. He wants to get in there as much as he can.
Yeah, and he's not hurting about anything, and he's playing well. Yeah. That's probably it. Parker knocked out of his hand. Looked like Parker got hammered there. Jacobson back. Marion! And Sean Marion pulls the Suns within 13.
But you know, when you're aggressive like that on defense and you trap hard, the refs tend to let little fouls go away. So you got to go out there and be aggressive, and they're not going to call those little ticky-tack touch fouls.
And Frank Johnson said that. He said, make them call fouls. Play aggressive and have the officials make the call. Parker. Robinson can't get the tip. Good boxing out from Stoudemire. And Duncan was not able to get a hand on it. Stoudemire's played well in the second half. Hardaway, nice move.
Good job by Hardaway to recognize the taller Tim Duncan on him. He didn't settle for a jump shot, took him to the glass.
16 for Hardaway, lead back to 11. Still plenty of time. Smith, halfway down before it rolled out. Now it was game 4, where the Suns were down by 11 with 7 minutes left. That's the same scenario right now. And Hardaway's shot was out of bounds. So the exact same spot of game 4, down 11. With this much time, they're able to come back. Now the only difference in this one is that they've had to climb back from the 24-point halftime hole.
Jacobson's come in and give the Suns some good minutes here. He's played hard, good defense, rotating. He's a good young player. I think the Suns are going to like for a long time.
Only played 14 minutes in the series prior to tonight. He's played 11 minutes. Frank Johnson showing some faith in the rookie. Shot clock down to 7. Robinson up and under. David Robinson has had a very strong game. 10 points, 8 rebounds, couple of blocks.
The coaching staff's over there asking why nobody went down. I mean, you had David Robinson guarded by Sean Marion. Somebody's got to come down there and double team.
Marion, he's been aggressive going to the basket. Robinson with another rebound. Suns keep making charges. Spurs hold them off. Stoudemire knocks it out of Parker's hand. Parker, frustrated, thought he was fouled again. Bad pass from Hardaway. But Ginobili's very deceptive defensively.
Well, he just understands the game. You can see it both offensively and defensively. He makes the right pass, he makes the right decision, and he knows what he's doing on the defensive end.
And Greg Popovich calls timeout. Just past the midway point, fourth quarter, Spurs with a 13-point lead.
You're the new lead detective.
Me?
Martin Lawrence. Luke Wilson. Blue Streak. Friday at 10:30. Part of the Diet Coke Movie Fest on TNT.
Reading can take you places you've always dreamed of going. And book by book, the NBA and WNBA are helping children get closer to reaching those dreams.
Them both across the water to a big ship.
The NBA family has created more than 60 reading and learning centers, donating hundreds of thousands of books, and have given children a place where they can gain the tools they need to achieve their dreams. Because when you love to read, you can become anything you want. Be part of the success and read to achieve.
Nothing has changed. Everything has changed. The all-new 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
Hey, Veronica? Yeah? Would you like to go to McDonald's with me? No, I wouldn't, Steve. It's Sam. Whatever.
I'll go, Sam. McDonald's and a man like you? A girl would be crazy to pass that up.
That was really cool, Aunt Tiffany.
What? Thanks for letting me bring Fifi.
Oh, anything for you, baby. I'd give you the moon, the stars, and the ultimate love potion. Ice cold Bud Light.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Don't worry, I got him. Ooh.
Quarter of Game 5, Spurs leading by 13. In time for tonight's Bud Light Around the League as the playoffs continue. Good competitive playoff series throughout the Eastern and Western Conference. In fact, no sweeps in the first round of the playoffs for the first time since they had this 16-team format back in '84. Stockton and Malone losing last night at the Delta Center. If they get eliminated in Sacramento, is it their last game together? Possibility. And Rick Fox out for the playoffs with a torn foot tendon. That could be big. Fox has been instrumental in defense in the playoffs. His defense on Stojakovic has been key last couple of years.
That could be big for the Lakers because he does a lot of little things to help that team win.
Tim Duncan had a huge first half. They've done a better job on him in the second half. Smith for three. Won't go. Malik Rose, another big rebound. 13 rebounds from Malik Rose to go along with 22 points. Duncan, double team immediately, gets it into Rose. Again, the quick decision from Duncan.
Well, I just love the way they play. Duncan gets the double team, Rose knows it, he cuts right down the middle, nobody can stop him, and Duncan knows exactly where he is and lays a perfect pass on his hands where he can score easily.
Right now, let's send it to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Mike Breen. Let's update you on what's going on with the New Jersey Nets and the Bucks. 1-point game, New Jersey, with about 3 minutes to go, and Richard Jefferson throws up an air ball. Jefferson has 15 points. He and Kerry Kittles leading New Jersey with 15, but the Bucks now with the chance to take the lead with under 3 minutes to play as we give you this live look at Continental Airlines Arena. Series tied 2 games apiece. And the Milwaukee turnover as Sam Cassell's pass is batted away. And the Bucks on the break.
Cassell doesn't have the numbers. They open the back, and
Another chance for Milwaukee to take the lead goes by the boards, but it's a one-point game. Milwaukee and New Jersey will keep you posted on this, but right now let's get back to San Antonio.
All right, Ernie, Stephon Marbury with a tough play, cuts it to 11 again, and draws the foul. It's on Tim Duncan, his 5th. And now with a free throw coming up as well, with 4:22 remaining, he can cut it to 10.
Well, the Suns won't go away, will they? They keep trying to get back into the game and took it all the way to the basket there and got fouled.
Now let's see if it affects the free throw shooting of Marbury. He's only taken 1 free throw tonight, hit that. Shooting touch looked fine there, considering the injury. 10-point game, still over 4 minutes to play. Every time the Suns crawl back, Spurs go on a mini spurt to give them a little comfort level again. Even Malik Rose is getting the big double teams now. Hardaway knocks it away, but Duncan takes it back. The hands of Tim Duncan. Inside to Rose, and he's fouled. Huge play from Tim Duncan after it looked like Hardaway was going to come up with a turnover.
After facing all these double teams, he's just turned into such a good passer. Here he picks up the loose ball. He's going to jump and leave his feet, and he's going to find Rose underneath the basket.
5th foul on Penny Hardaway. And Rose to the free throw line where he is 6 for 6 tonight. Catch the NBA playoffs in high definition on NBA TV Wednesday at 8. Tracy McGrady and the Magic try to close out the top-seeded Pistons in Game 5. Magic and Pistons Wednesday night at 8, only on NBA TV. He's going to get a breather, 17 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 block shots. Free throw shooting helping the Spurs tonight. They're 21 of 26. Lead back to 12. Hardaway for 3. In and out, Bowen the rebound. Suns have made a terrific turnaround here in the second half, but they dug themselves such a huge hole in the first half. And Darren Claxton to shoot. Rose inside. Suns just won't quit.
No, they keep coming at you. That's for sure.
Marbury for 3. Stephon Marbury puts it in. And this is the closest the Suns have been since the first quarter.
I think Duncan's rest is over. He's looking to get right back in the game.
Marbury now with 11 points. Speedy Claxton blocked by Stoudemire. Suns still very much alive. Hardaway comes up short. Stoudemire tips it. Poor Stoudemire's had his hands on so many balls like that. Marion for 3. Rose can't control it. Stoudemire calls timeout. In a game where you think that the Phoenix Suns might be tired, leave it to the kid, the 20-year-old, who still has plenty of energy and keeping the Phoenix Suns' hopes alive. Down by 9 with the ball, just over 2.5 left.
This is a test. This is the big test. Right now at participating Honda dealers, you can join the big test ride. The world's biggest production motorcycles. Goldwing 1800, VTX 1800. And it just keeps getting bigger because you can ride off with low 6.9% APR financing. To find out more, just go to Honda.com and join the biggest test ride in motorcycle history.
Whoa, hey, sorry about this, folks. I'm afraid I can't show you any of this. No way, not on TV, it's way too hot. You see, there are things in this show, well, let's just say it's a true Jerry Springer spectacle you won't see anywhere else. But if you order it on direct ticket pay-per-view on DirecTV, I guarantee you'll see things that, well, they won't even allow me to describe them. Just order it this month, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Playoff basketball, it's different than the regular season.
Over 40 games in 40 nights. TNT, exclusive home of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Win or go home. The drama of the NBA playoffs continues on TNT.
TNT.
EJ in Atlanta, still to come about 15 minutes from now. The biggest game in Minnesota Timberwolves franchise history. Kevin Garnett and the Lakers at home. Game 5 against the Lakers. Don't go anywhere. Back to Mike.
Ernie, that of course coming up. And a good game 5 here, 84-75. Phoenix still alive. Also have a bunch of game 5s coming up tomorrow night on TNT. Some series could be wrapped up tomorrow night. Neither one tonight. Obviously both tied at 2 apiece. Lakers and Wolves, but Sixers, Mavericks, and Kings can all move on with a home win and advance to the second round. So big playoff action continuing on TNT. Suns getting huge play from Amari Stoudemire in the second half. 12 points and 10 rebounds. Marion deflected by Duncan. And still Suns ball, 16 on the shot clock. 2.5 left in the quarter. Frank Johnson is gyrating on the sideline, trying to get his team back in it. He certainly did so in the second half after a disastrous first half. Marion, tough shot, draws the foul. Malik Rose with the personal. And Sean Marion will go to the free throw line where he's 5 for 5 tonight.
The Suns are right in this game. He knocks down these 2 free throws. You know they're going to pick up full court and really start to pressure the ball. So they're right in it, right where they want to be. I mean, as bad as they played, they got a chance to maybe squeak this one out.
The lead now cut to 8. 2:29 remaining. Both teams with timeouts remaining. Suns have a couple of fouls to give. San Antonio led by 19 to start the fourth quarter. They've led by as many as 24. That was the halftime margin. It's now a 7-point game. Malik Rose inside. Every time Suns make a run, it seems like Malik Rose makes a play.
Well, they got to do a better job of adjusting to that. It's not like it's a secret. They know Rose is at the top of the key, and as soon as they double, he just dives right down the lane. Either the guard's got to pick it up or the big man on the weak side's got to go over there and bump him. He just cuts right down the lane. Sean Marion's way too late. If he's going to catch the ball way underneath the basket like that, there's no way you're going to be able to stop him. And he's done it all night.
Rose has already tied his playoff career high with 13 rebounds, and if he hits this free throw, he'll tie his playoff career high with 28 points. This coming after a game, in game 4, where he was just 3 of 11 from the field. He's averaging 8 boards and 12 points in the series. It's become such a huge part of the San Antonio success. Jacobson barrels into Rose. If anything, that should have been a charge. Ginobili stolen by Jacobson.
That's just where a smart team doesn't do that. And Coach Popovich over scratching his head. I mean, you're up in a game like this. You don't come down and throw the ball away, and the Suns come back in a fast break and put the ball in the hole.
And Marbury floats it up there. It's a 6-point game with 1:47 remaining.
Spurs just need to take care of the ball. I mean, they're running around. They just need to run some little bit of clock and get a good shot every time down.
Marbury now with 10 points in the fourth quarter. He's come alive after really struggling. Duncan, double team. Ginobili. Rose, quick shot. Duncan, a big offensive rebound. And a new 24 for the Spurs. Phoenix Suns defense has been superb in the second half. Duncan across the lane. Bowen for 3. And a foul after he released it. They're going to say it's a two-shot attempt. Frank Johnson furious on the call on Marbury, but Bowen will shoot 2 free throws. It wasn't a 3-point attempt.
It's a great call. You'll see Stephon Marbury running across, and as Bowen goes to shoot, I think he gives him a little shot in the stomach. It's a good call by the ref, by Ted Bernhardt. Hits him right in the stomach. It's hard to see that hit him with his left hand right in the abdomen. Kind of gave him an elbow there, knocked him just enough off balance. That does affect the shooter shots. I thought it was a good call.
Absolutely. Frank Johnson furious, but that was a good call. Even after the release, the shot attempt continues until the player returns to normal floor position. So even after you release the ball, if you're hit, it's still a 2-shot foul. Marbury disagrees. I mean, you know as well as anybody, just the slightest shove like that makes a difference in the shot.
I got shoved a lot. That's why I missed some shot.
You did some fair shoving of your own in your day. Big free throw there from Bowen, who's it's the second one.
Awful free throw shoot.
40%. Now he's taking 3 free throws. I thought it was a 2-point attempt signaled by the official. Apparently not.
Yeah, he must have been behind the line.
Bruce Bowen, as you mentioned, an awful free throw shooter during the regular season, hits 2 of 3. And the Suns are going to call timeout.
When's the last time the leading three-point percentage shooter has shot 40% from the line?
1:10 remaining in the fourth. Frank Jackson upset with the call, doing everything he can to get his team back in the game. They're down by 8 with the ball as we wind down the fourth quarter.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Right now it's flavor. When your first name is Armor, you know there's some serious protection going on. Armor All Protected doesn't just clean and shine, it protects.
EJ in Atlanta, Minnesota, and the Lakers. Game 5 coming up shortly here on TNT. Meantime, Jason Kidd into the paint for a 6-point New Jersey lead with a shade over a minute to play. Right now, 27 seconds left, 86-80 New Jersey over the Bucks.
Ernie, that just so many great finishes in the postseason, and we're only in the first round.
Right, the Spurs fans here up top, standing on their feet, thinking about a 3-2 lead going into Phoenix.
All right, 1:10 left, and they still have timeouts, so do you need to start putting up the threes now? It's a 3-possession game.
Well, I think if you get a good one, yeah, but I take it strong to the hole, get a 2, and then pick up and hopefully try to get a steal.
Marbury will inbound. Phoenix still with a full and a 20-second timeout. Marbury tied up. Hardaway, that's a 3. Marbury short. Ginobili knocked out of his hands. Ball still alive. Ginobili had it, lost it again. And Stoudemire fouled by Speedy Claxton. Terrific hustle from both teams. And now throws for Stoudemire. This is exactly what Phoenix wants, to be able to get to the free throw line, score points when the clock stopped.
Good hustle by both teams here. Going for the loose ball. Claxton just goes for the ball, knocks down Stoudemire. Good call.
Stoudemire only 2 of 5 from the line tonight, including he missed all 3 of his free throws in the half. Claxton with the personal. He's a little shaken up on the play. See him looking.
Turned an ankle. He's young though. He'll be able to bounce back. Those things heal quickly. He'll be here 20. Do you remember?
No, that's been a long way. Meanwhile, as we said earlier, he's not a good free throw shooter, 66%. And misses badly on that one. Suns can't afford to miss free throws now. See the time remaining. See Frank Johnson saying, we have to foul, we have to foul. Two big misses from the rookie. And Duncan fouled immediately. Clock kept going. About 4 seconds went off. It says 50.9. They got to put more time up as he fouled immediately.
Yeah, nobody heard Ted Bernhardt blow his whistle.
Hardaway, meanwhile, he's going to need it from here as Hardaway has fouled out of the game. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Hardaway. Well, it's plain and simple right now for the Spurs. If they hit their free throws, they'll win this game. If they miss it, they'll open the door. It's game 1 that it really hurt them when they missed their free throws down the stretch, and it cost them.
And they've had this problem all year long. They're a bad free throw shooting team. We talked to Coach Popovich and said the 2 things that really concern him. He said even if we do play our good defense, turnovers and poor free throw shootings could be the end of our demise. So hopefully that they can, rectify those problems. They didn't do it tonight. They've got 19 turnovers, and they still haven't shot well from the free throw line. So those are 2 of the Achilles heels they have.
They're dead last of playoff teams in free throw percentage at 71% during the regular season. They were much better. Yes, these 2 guys have loved playing with each other. With all the talk about the free agency in the offseason and maybe Jason Kidd coming here, they've got a great young point guard in Tony Parker that Tim Duncan loves to play with.
And I don't blame him. The guy's just got a great head on his shoulders. I said it before, he had such a struggle in the first 2 games, and be able to bounce back like that and do what he did was just amazing.
Duncan has had another terrific all-around game. He's 5 of 7 from the free throw line. And that makes it a 9-point game. You give the Phoenix Suns a lot of credit the way they've stormed back several times here in the second half and made the crowd anxious and made the Spurs sweat a little bit. But it appears they're going to fall short. Boy, Stoudemire just leveled Parker on a screen. Jacobson for 3, knocks it down. Casey Jacobson makes it a 7-point game.
Good recognition there by Marbury to drive out of the hole and find Jacobson over the corner, who can really shoot the ball. That's what they drafted for. He's a great shooter at Stanford and has done a good job for the Suns when he's had playing time.
And they foul right away. Some more free throws. Tonight's Gatorade peak performer, Malik Rose. He was brilliant tonight. 27 points, playoff career high, tying 13 rebounds. Parker, meanwhile, to the free throw line. Well, the Spurs miss another. 7-point game, 44.7 seconds remaining. Again, Phoenix still with a full and a 20-second timeout. And that's huge in terms of advancing the ball to half court in the final seconds. Marbury not going to take the 3. Goes right to the basket and makes a big shot. Duncan is then fouled. Oh, that one hurts.
Good aggressive play, though, by Marbury, trying to get all the way back to the lane. Just missed the lay-in and take Duncan to the free throw line again. The Spurs are sensing, the Spurs crowd is sensing a victory here now.
Now, Marbury, when he came down, it looked like he would have had a wide-open 3. Decided not to take it. And again, a good aggressive move, ones he normally hits. And you saw the expression on his face of disappointment. Another great all-around game from Duncan as you see the numbers. What to me really impresses me, we've said this a couple of times, the fact that, you know, they're taking the ball out of his hands. He's an MVP candidate, one of the premier scorers, yet he's not looking to force his shots. He doesn't need shots. He just wants to win and to making the plays necessary when he's double-teamed.
Well, to me, a guy who's going to be an MVP, the most important thing is making the players around you better. And that's what he does. He makes the game really easy for the rest of the guys on the Spurs.
A 20-second timeout called by the Phoenix Suns. Let's go to Ernie in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Mike. One more gentle reminder that Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers coming up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's Kobe, who had 32 in the last game. Shaq had 34. 5 minutes and counting, boys and girls.
Ernie, a key for San Antonio. Free throw shooting now. Their last 10 points have come from the line for the game. They're at 78%, and they've hit 10 of 13 here in the fourth quarter. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
No, it's good. It's real good, and they have to continue to do that if they want to advance.
What a game from Malik Rose. The Spurs now by 10. Phoenix still has a timeout left. Both teams are in the penalty. Now, Phoenix, you really have to start thinking about threes.
Yeah, now it's time to get a good shot off the 3 and then crash the boards and then try to get the steal. And if you don't get the steal, foul immediately.
Marbury was open. Didn't give it to him right away. Jacobson, again, a good three-point shooter, and a foul by Claxton. That's not what Greg Popovich's want, so Jacobson will shoot a couple of free throws. Jacobson has not been to the line in this playoff series. Again, with limited minutes for the season, he shot just 69% from the line.
Yeah, which is amazing because the guy has a great shot. And Mike Bowen is a real good three-point shooter, but for some reason his rookie year just hasn't had the confidence to go into the line and knock him down.
And misses both. And that should pretty much do it. Duncan gets it ahead to Bowen. Bowen inside, foul by Marbury, and Bowen will shoot 2 with 28.8 remaining. Crowd booing Marbury, but that's what he's supposed to do. And Spurs now in control with a 10-point lead.
Well, I think the Suns need to figure out what they're going to do with Malik Rose. I mean, he just really manhandled tonight. When they double-teamed Duncan, Malik Rose cut to the basket, got a lot of easy layups, and is the reason they won the game today. He had a great game.
Bowen misfires, so Next up, Game 6 on Thursday night at America Western Arena. We'll be there, then on TBS Superstation. And Game 7, if necessary, back here at the SBC Center. Wouldn't be surprised to be back here again, as the Suns have given the Spurs a lot of problems. Bowen misses another free throw, but it's a 10-point game with 23 seconds remaining. Good defense by the Spurs, making the Suns take time off the clock. Ginobili blocks the shot. Duncan gets it. Duncan fouled, and this one's over. The San Antonio Spurs withstand several furious Phoenix Suns runs. Frank Johnson doing all he can to implore his team. David Robinson had a very big game. And Stephon Marbury and the Suns are going to fall short. And they just got to look, as you said, Dan, at their first half. They were dreadful in the first half, trailed by 24 at halftime.
Yeah, they were lethargic. They came out, didn't have the same kind of pressure. The double teams weren't as hard. The traps and the pick and rolls weren't very good. You can't expect to come into this building and win a game playing that type of defense. And you just expect a lot more from them out of Game 6 when they go home to Phoenix.
Stephon Marbury and Ted Bernhardt, their referee, having words yelling back and forth at each other. As Duncan knocks it down. 12-point game, 15.4 remaining. And the San Antonio Spurs lead wire to wire in this one. And regain the lead in the series. Marbury upset. He struggled early. Had a strong first quarter. The Spurs fans celebrating as San Antonio leads its best-of-7 series 3 games to 2. Duncan with a big game. That's our final score. Now let's go to Minnesota. Coming up, our final score, the Spurs 94 and the Suns 82. For Dan Barley, Reggie Theus, producer Jay Huber, director Howie Singer, and our entire crew, this is Mike Green saying good night from San Antonio. We'll now send you to the target.